Is there an actor who has had worse luck concerning joining major IP franchises than Emilia Clarke? To start, I think Emilia seems like a lovely person and she's certainly a capable actress, but my god does she get the shit end of the stick when it comes to her roles in major franchises. Game of Thrones was a TV darling for years until its trash dump final seasons, with the biggest issue cited being how horribly Clarke's character was written. Remember when she was cast as Sarah Connor in a Terminator movie? It's better if you don't. Solo: A Star Wars Story was a box office disappointment and faded into the ether. Decent enough movie, but it had its flaws, and Clarke's character was set up for a future arc that we most certainly won't be seeing. Finally, there's her foray into the MCU in Secret Invasion, which is now commonly seen as the worst product the MCU has ever churned out, and poor Emilia's character is at the center of those criticisms due to how terribly she's written in the final episode. Emilia Clarke is a talented actress and by all accounts a wonderful person to work with, but she just can't get ahead when it comes to her casting in big-name franchises. Has anyone else had a worse run of bad luck when it comes to breaking into the A-list? At least she's getting some roles. The GOT actors like Kit Harington haven't really had much for substantial roles in the past 5 years. His MCU entry was meant to have long-term potential, but word is he won't be featured as much after people's reception of the Eternals. Summer Glau had similarly bad luck with her career choices. Got her big break in Firefly, it was cancelled after 14 episodes. Was one of the leads of the Sarah Connor Chronicles, it was cancelled on a cliffhanger after 2 seasons. Then she was one of the leads on The Cape and it was cancelled after 10 episodes. Since then, she's done little but guest star appearances and a recurring run on Arrow for a few episodes. Clearly this person has not heard of the Last Christmas cinematic universe. She should be a rom-com queen, that's her element. Jessica Henwick, maybe? Marvel? Check. But it was Iron Fist. Game of Thrones? Check. But it was the Dawn plot. The Matrix? Check. But it was Resurrections. Star Wars? Check. But it was nothing role in the sequels instead of Rey, which is a role she almost won. She's like the anti-Zoe Saldana. Christopher Eccleston's entire trip to the US for movies was him having bad luck with franchises. Maybe Taylor Kitsch. Edit: you guys keep telling me how great he was in whatever. That's fine. I don't disagree that he's a capable actor. That wasn't the question. Her as Sarah Connor is just unbelievably bad casting. It's honestly hard to believe that anybody in the world could think it was a good idea. Henry Cavill bears a similar curse. He's monkeys poured himself into being in loads of franchises he loves and is clearly invested in, only for shitty writing and showrunning to make it a complete clown show every time. It's so hard to not see her as just Emilia Clarke. She's hardly a chameleon at the best of times, but at least with Daenerys she had white hair and a totally different look. In a different way, Henry Cavill. He was arguably a perfect cast for both Superman and The Witcher, but both projects were horribly managed and went to shit when they were almost guaranteed to be successful given his resemblance to the roles, solid acting skills for them, and being a fan of them, meaning he was passionate about the projects. I always think about Idris Elba when it comes to these questions. In recent times, apart from Harrison Ford, has there been anybody who has cracked the code in 3 franchises in a meaningful way and not in a Dwayne Johnson way? I think the best move possible for actors coming off of a successful franchise is to pick diverse and eclectic roles and not try to chase another lightning in a bottle. Daniel Radcliffe is someone who has impressed me so much in this regard. She's more a romance movie type, not a blockbuster lead. She's so cutesy, she does well with guys or girls I suppose fawning over her, breaking up, and then the big makeup scene. And they're a great movie when written well. I don't think that action is going to be her forte. I think Nicholas Hoult lost out on Batman, Top Gun, and then he was going to be in Mission Impossible but had to drop out BC he was filming The Great. He also lost out on GOT. He auditioned for Jon Snow. I'd love to be as unlucky as Clarke. I don't think she's much of an actress, but it's silly to include Game of Thrones here. She'd be an unknown entity without it, so how is that an example of bad luck just because you don't like the way it wrapped up? She seems very likable, but she's not a great actress. So leveraging her name value from GOT to appear in these big soulless films is probably the best option for her financially. She did have a guest voice spot in Futurama, so at least she's got that going for her, which is nice. 4 roles in big projects including 8 seasons on the world's biggest show seems like pretty good luck to me. Henry Cavill seems one of the most charming guys on the planet, but by God he's having some shit luck. He played one of the best iterations of Superman. DC complete fuck up their universe SND after batting him around for years decide to recast the man from Uncle, though I haven't seen it, seemed to be setting up a franchise but didn't really make enough money to warrant a sequel. Great in Mission Impossible but only as a one-timer for obvious reasons. Left The Witcher because the original vision changed even though it seemed to be doing quite well. She wasn't even the best Sarah Connor from Game of Thrones. It's like you've never heard of Summer Glau. The worst product the MCU has ever churned out. Even worse than Inhumans? Jai Courtney has had a rough go of it. Robert Sheehan, currently of Umbrella Academy, was poised to be a breakout star after Misfits and tried really hard to cross over to Hollywood films. He was in The Mortal Instruments, which was planned to be a trilogy, but the first movie flopped, and also did Mortal Engines, which was also planned as a multi-film epic that flopped on the first film. Maybe it's properties with Mortal in the title. I've enjoyed some of his more low-key work. Brandon Lee. Henry Cavill. He gets praised doing a good job in his roles and still gets fired lol. I don't know if Clarke is a great actress, haven't really seen her get pushed to the brink, but she is very good, and with her generally being a good person, I like seeing her in movies. It might be bad luck, but yeah, she does need better projects. Matt Smith. I like her, but she's really not super talented. Her level is Jennifer Aniston tier, which isn't too bad, but she was born too late to scoop up all those rom-coms like Jen. I'd possibly say Daisy Ridley. Big breakout in the Star Wars sequels, which crashed critically as the series progressed. Then Murder on the Orient Express, which did fine financially but received mixed reviews. Then a starring role in Chaos Walking $100 million budget, which bombed. But I'd say Emilia Clarke is a good actress with bad luck versus Daisy, who's more of a middling actress with middling luck. Actress who was on a hugely successful show and got a huge paycheck to boot, also was cast in several major motion pictures, and got a nice chunk of change to be in a recent mini-series. Yes, very unlucky. I am sure she is wiping her tears with $1,000 bills. Biggest issue of GOT was hardly Daenerys. It was all of the last 3 seasons being written poorly and rushed. Hey, at least she got that last Christmas rom-com, which from what I've heard was mostly positively met.